decided long ago never to walk in anyone's shadow. If I fail, if I succeed, you can't take away my dignity. Because the greatest love of all inside of me. Yeah. Sexy chocolate.
Love y'all, boys. Love you. Love you. I'll go to war with every single one of you every fucking game, all right? Love you, 1-7. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Win.
Yeah. Please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out, yeah. Please tell me all the bad, never good, fill my head full of every single doubt, yeah. Please say any negative thoughts, I pop off when I hear people say I cannot. I get off to the thought of proving everyone wrong, I won't stop to the top, so you better back off and get lost. I'ma stay loud, stay proud, never running out, never heading south. I'll be spreading out, call it word of mouth, can't put me down, I'll be getting loud. You can have me douse, not what I'm about, have your fucking clout. If you're raining now, I keep making sound, go another round, bitch I'm legend bound, can't stop me now. You don't wanna fuck with me, a slow burn like a disease. Just tell me that I can and I'll show you things that you couldn't believe. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can. Just tell me that I can.
It's showtime.
Welcome to Friday Night Lights. I'm your host, Tommy, to the highest degree, to the TOP, from the 313. What up, Bills Mafia? Happy Friday night to you, and happy Friday night to my co-host, who's not here on Friday nights anymore, Mikey. He may be listening. That's why I'm sending him the shout-out. We miss you, Mikey. We miss you. He will be back on Fridays around the preseason time, but he will be here, actually, draft weekend. So Thursday and Friday night for sure. Mikey will be here live. We will be covering the draft. That will be an interesting one. Will the Bills trade up? Will the Bills trade down? Will the Bills stay put? More than likely, it seems like the Bills will be trading down. But, hey, we'll see. We'll see. Will Brandon Beane be aggressive? Will he trade the first-round draft pick for a player like a Dexter Lawrence? We'll see. I don't know. Time will tell, and it's 2 weeks away. So, super excited. Let's get to some of the chat here because you guys got going on here pretty early. Weston in the house, man. Weston, a resident Chiefs fan. You know, he's a believer in Beane Island, man. That's why he's on Believe in Beane Island. Even though he's a Chiefs fan, he knows the deal. He knows the deal when it comes to what's going on in Buffalo. With the whole Brandon Beane situation. You got the haters, you got the people that believe, and you got, I guess, the people are in the middle. They want to see it to believe, and that's okay. I get that. With the 9th pick of the 2026 NFL Draft, Kansas City select Ruben Beane. Boo. Hey, a shout out to the U. But no, I do not want Ruben Beane going to your damn Chiefs. Please, no, please, God, no. That's me going live at 8:30. Sylvester, the season doesn't go right for Brandon Beane, is going to be fired, and Mike's era is heading to Buffalo, the Mikey Buffs. No, look, man, I don't. I'm giving, put it this way, I'm giving Brady a 2-year window, right? If he can't get this team to a Super Bowl, then you got to let him go and you got to move on. You got to find yourself a coach that can get us there while we're in Josh Allen prime, right? Right. Very important, right? We all know how tough it is to find a quarterback in the NFL, especially for this team, right? It took us a very long time to find us a quarterback, and it's not a given. It's not a given thing, right? These, you know, every year, you know, when we talk about quarterbacks coming out of the draft, you know, there's a couple that are, you know, people are like totally sold on, and sometimes they just don't work out. And then you're right back at it again, searching for your quarterback. So it's not as easy as it sounds. And you usually got to land yourself in the top 10, kind of top 5, really, to land yourself one of these quarterbacks that could potentially be your franchise quarterback. But yeah, and that's why I feel like we need to figure this out while we're in Allen prime. And I would say 4 to 5 years we got left where Allen is definitely playing like an all-pro, like an elite quarterback, at least the way he plays football at an elite level. So, yeah, I feel you. Tommy Mikey, I'm so glad we got an offensive-minded head coach because I felt like we got beat in the postseason because other offensive minds like Peyton outsmart our defensive schemes. Yeah. So I'm with you on that 100%. Like, and there's nothing wrong with having a defensive-minded head coach, but at least have a defense that is, a top 5 defense, a defense that can carry us when needed, right? And it just never did. Let's be real. We could talk about regular season stats, and when people bring that up, like, oh, Buffalo Bills had a top 5 defense. One year they were number 1. Okay, so why didn't that number 1 defense lead the way to a Super Bowl if they were that great, right? And there's a big difference between regular season stats and postseason stats, playoff stats, right? Those numbers didn't align. When the Buffalo Bills got in the playoffs, that defense every year shit the bed. Let's be real. How often do the offense shit the bed? Not many games. I would say, honestly, guys, if we're going to look back and go, okay, couple playoff losses under the McDermott era where you can go, okay, total team failure. I would say probably 2020, the first year we went to the AFC Championship against the Chiefs. That was just a total team loss. And I would say against the Bengals in 2022. But outside of that, it's been defensive collapses. So, and I don't care what anyone says about last year. The Bills offense put up 30 points. You still gave up 33. I don't give a shit what you guys say. We have 5 turnovers. We still had an opportunity to win. We still had 30 points on 5 turnovers. The defense couldn't even make a stop at the end of the game. We still had a 4-point lead at one point. You're talking about a defensive-minded head coach, a defensive guru. You should be able to make a stop there. We had multiple. They had multiple third downs in that drive, and they still converted every single one and took the lead. So I mean, I can't. I hate going back in time and keep. It's like I'm on repeat mode here, but the facts are the facts, and I don't care what anyone says. Like I really don't. Like my opinion, I'm going to keep with. I'll respect your guys' opinion. I'll respect everybody else's as far as podcast goes and what they believe. But it's funny to me that a lot of podcasts over the last, I would say, 2 seasons at least, we're finally understanding that McDermott was the issue and was understanding what was really going on here, especially after that Tyler Dunn article came out. And a lot of that held a lot of weight, right? But now, right, that we fired McDermott, now it's a Beane issue. All of a sudden, now now it's let's point the finger somewhere else now and continue this. No, man, the issue was handled. Right? The issue has left the building. I don't know why we're on this. There was, the other issue is Brandon Beane. No, it's not. It wasn't. I'm sorry. I don't believe that. The issue was the guy that was leading the team out onto the football field. That was Sean McDermott and coaching staff. We have totally wiped out that coaching staff and brought in a whole different coaching staff. Let me get to some other... here's for Roy, believe in Beane Island, but he might have some meteors coming to the island. He's not going to listen. We have one of the greatest armies on Believe in Beane Island. There's nothing happening on that island. I promise you. If anyone tries to come and do any damage to the island, they're gonna be in some trouble. All right, I'm telling you right now. Oh man. No bones about it, man. How you doing, brother? You got, it's funny. I'm glad people are understanding. Obviously, I am the president and founder of Believe in Beane Island. I'm glad it's starting to become a thing now. And listen, I didn't think I'd have a lot of people jumping onto the island this quickly. And I'm glad. I am super glad because, watching or, listening to Post Podium Podcast, he brought up there's a lot of like Bills fans that are optimistic that we're going to win a Super Bowl. I don't get that. Do you guys get that? I get the opposite. I get way more fans that are pessimistic that think the Bills should have fired Brandon Beane, that the Bills aren't going anywhere, that there's going to be no change in 2026, that it's going to be the same results. Like, I'm not getting this overconfident Bills Mafia that are just screaming to the rooftop that the Buffalo Bills are winning a Super Bowl in 2026. I might be one of the few. So I don't know why like they feel that way, because I feel like it's the opposite. And I feel like I'm defending this team and defending this coaching staff week after week when I do these podcasts. So I don't get that, but hey, people will think how they want to think. Tommy, you should know you're hilarious. Thank you. I try to be. I try to be funny all the time. By the way, did you guys, Tommy to the TOP, what up, gang? What up, Sandra? How you doing? I'm guessing you guys saw the story of the week. Vrabel and Diana Rossini kicking it on vacation together. I guess there was a few other people there, but it's a bad look. I mean, when you read into it, look into what was going on, see the pictures. I know some people are like, hey, they could be taken out of context, but let me tell you something, folks. When you interlock hands, like for me, what sold me on something's not right here, and I could be wrong. Look, I wasn't there, obviously. I don't know the total truth, but when you interlock fingers, a double-handed interlock fingers, there's more than just a friendship there. I'm sorry. I am totally sorry. I don't. That's a bad look. And if it was business, which, okay, I get the argument of journalists has to go and travel, and that's how they get the upper hand and their stories and all that. But does that mean you have to go to a hotel that's known for couples retreat kind of, and go into this, hot tub? And it's just a bad look. Both are married. And then you got the other side of things, which is, is this a conflict of interest, right? She's been the top person, journalist out there, media, whatever you want to call her, talking about the Patriots and A.J. Brown situation. It's not a good look. It's a terrible look. And if I'm her husband and if I'm his wife, like, I'm sorry, I can't just let it go. Like, that is a terrible look. And then on the other side too, whoever took the pictures, guys, that wasn't like TMZ just floating around there. That seemed like somebody was out there looking, like was paid, looking to get pictures of, potential cheating. I'm just saying, right? Because listen, no media is looking for a juicy story knowing Mike Vrabel is out this hotel, right? Camping out in hiding in, right? Like taking pictures. It's a bad look. It's a bad look. I'm very interested to see what happens moving forward. But yeah, it's crazy to me that anyone would think that's a good look, right? Like, and if you're the husband, you're like, hey, I'm good with it. Like, that's okay with me. Like, no, I'm sorry. It's not. If you're the wife, you're just a big dummy. If you're the husband, you're a big dummy. Like, that's not okay. So I don't know. It's definitely a big story that's going around this week, but nothing to do with the Buffalo Bills. Just thought it was interesting. Let's see here. Back to the chat. if we win at least the Super Bowl this year, we need a game changer as a coach, because the AFC still has a lot of coaches I could take over Brady. I would take over Brady. Okay, I'm with you. I would give him. Listen, I'm giving Brady a 2-year window. However, with that being said, if year one of Brady is a total disaster, then you got to get rid of him, right? Like you can't fuck around. But if it's an AFC championship, we lose, I'll give him one more year to prove that he can get the job done, right? We gave McDermott 9, right? We gave him 9 years. So I'm not going to just quit on the guy after 1. However, if things just go very bad, right, and we're just not a playoff team, or we get bounced out, wild card, whatever happens, like if it's bad, then you got to probably move on. You got to move on. And you probably got to go and find yourself a head coach that's been there, done that. Okay, don't go around looking for a defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator that has no head coaching experience. Right? For me, at that point, you need to find yourself a guy that's either won a Super Bowl or been to a Super Bowl, rather than finding a coach that maybe can get you there. Like, no, like we need experience at that point, because now the window is starting to close, right? So that's how I feel about that. But I'm willing to give Brady an opportunity, because there could be something there. And the coaching staff, like I said, I mentioned multiple times, is young, innovative, upcoming coaches that could be potential head coaches in the future. And we got some experienced head coaches, or former head coach in John Fox, an experienced OC in Carmichael, that brings that veteran coaching leadership that will kind of help these younger coaches out, right? So I love this coaching staff as we sit. The thing is, can they put it all together, right? To be honest, I'm not expecting Super Bowl for Brady's first year, but I do want at least a 1 seed, if that's not too much to ask. Yeah, I get it. Listen, I'm with you. I need to see that there's something there, right? And I'm with you on that. Like, there's something there that could tell, that says, hey, this guy may have what it takes to win a Super Bowl with the Buffalo Bills, right? I cannot have another either same type of season or a season where it's a disaster, right? Because then we got a problem. Houston, we got a problem, right? So the Bill Robert, how you doing, brother? The Bills offense scored, giving the Bills the lead with 4 minutes left in the game. Yeah, exactly. I don't understand why we're like, that is such a like, people don't see that as being a reason why we lost that game. All the Bills had to do, was stop them on that drive, and the Buffalo Bills win that game. Period. Done. We're on to the AFC Championship game. But they couldn't even hold them to a field goal. They gave up a touchdown. They just drove right down the field with ease. I shouldn't even say that, because actually they had a couple 3rd and longs that the Bills just gave up. And that was, by the way, a normalcy here under Sean McDermott. 3rd and longs, right? Who's going to argue that with me? 3rd and longs, it was like, for sure, the team's getting the first down on us. It almost seemed like every time there was a 3rd and long, the Buffalo Bills were going to surrender a first down. Every time. It didn't even matter if Sean McDermott called a timeout, which he did multiple times during the course of his coaching career here. He would call a timeout, right, which is the right thing to do, right? Okay, you see what the offense trotted out in the field. You see, maybe what they're going to run there. You have an idea, I guess, of some sorts. You call a timeout. You get everybody right, set everybody up. You bring them back out in the field. Right? I mean, I get that part, but he never succeeded. Called a timeout, get the guys on the field, they give up a first down anyway. So, like, and now you just wasted a timeout. So you wasted a timeout for no reason. 0. And that's why I hated when he called timeout on 3rd downs on defense. It's like, dude, We know what's going to happen here. You're not going to stop him. You're wasting a timeout. I have no faith in your defense. I have no faith in you. Zero. You have yet to prove to me that this defense can actually make a stop under your command, right? Under your scheme. And I don't think it was just the players, and that's another thing. I don't think it was all personnel. I think it was coaching. I think he got scared. He got tense. Right? He dialed it back. He played soft zone a lot at the end of games, right? He got worried. He coached not to lose instead of coaching to win. That was, come on, guys. Like, can we be fair here? That's not a Beane thing. Sylvester, and I'm getting behind in the chat. Let me get caught up in the chat here before I keep rambling on. Tommy, I've seen Lamar play like hot garbage in the postseason. He makes the one play in the clutch and puts his team in position to win when it counts like Allen. Yeah. And he makes the one play that's I don't know if that's totally true. I don't know if you could say he's been clutch. I'll say last year, or not last year, the year prior, when we beat him, I would say Lamar played really, really, really damn well. He was clutch in that game. I'm not gonna that. I won't take away from him. I thought that was his best playoff performance. And his tight end let him down. Mark Andrews dropped the ball on a 2-point conversion. But prior to that, Allen's been way more clutch in playoff games than Lamar. Lamar, like I said, Lamar prior to that was not clutch. He not clutch at all, right? He actually fumbled a lot, threw the ball, interceptions. So yeah, I would say Allen's been way more clutch than Lamar. Sandra, McDermott is the reason we lost that game against the Broncos. He's part of the reason. I don't think I'm not going to put it all on McDermott, but he definitely is part of the reason. 100%. Man, I forgot to put the ticker up. Now the ticker's there. Now the ticker is there. But he's definitely part of the reason. Let's see, Sylvester, when I read the article, it seems to me like Sean was wanting Josh to be a game manager. Are you talking which article? Because there was a couple that Tyler Dunn brought out. There was the hit piece article that he did a couple years back, and then he did a recent one after Sean McDermott was fired. I haven't had a chance to read the most recent one. I did read the hit piece article, which is it's a long one. It's like, I think it's like three chapters long, but I believe it holds a lot of weight. I really do. And I'm with you on that. I do think he tried to change Josh Allen's play on the field. I mean, he haven't actually admitted to that the year Dorsey was fired, that he was trying to stop Allen or having Dorsey, stop calling plays for Allen to run. Right. Running plays for Allen, right? Where quarterback design runs. And if you notice, if you go back to that season, Allen was barely getting out of the pocket, there was no really quarterback design runs for Josh Allen. But after they fired Dorsey, when things weren't going right, and Brady was promoted, right, to OC that year, McDermott came out. It was like a press conference. He said, look, I'm just going to start letting Allen be Allen. I mean, he said that. That very next game, I think it was like the first play or second play, they had a design run for Allen right away. We didn't see that all year up to that point. So he was definitely 100% trying to dial it back, trying to change the way Allen played football. He wanted a more old school, traditional, run the ball, run heavy team, which you kind of saw last year. That's what he wanted. And I'm not saying like it's totally wrong to be a well-rounded offense, right? To be balanced, that is, right? But you can't take away what makes Josh Allen great at the same time. And I felt like that's what McDermott was trying to do. McDermott wanted a certain style offense, and Allen just didn't fit that style. He didn't. He went along with it because that's what he does. But I don't think it fit him. It's not how Allen played. Allen's best years were under Dable. His best seasons. I'm telling you. And look, I get he won the MVP in 2024. But let's be real here, folks. That wasn't his best season. His best season was probably 2020, where he got snubbed. He should have been the MVP. Maybe even 2021. How you doing? How do I know what? I don't know anything. I'm just running my mouth. Oh, see here. Scott Blakely in the house. Beane Island warm today. Sunset is awesome right now. Absolutely, Scott. Scott Blakely chilling on Believe in Beane Island. Bob in the house. How you doing, Bob? What up, Tommy? How you and the dog you doing tonight? She's good, man. She's just right here. I know you guys can't see her. No, you can't, but she's laying down on the lazy boy there, just chilling. We got the whole weekend to chill and relax, man, so I'm happy about that. Appreciate you checking in on me, man. Sylvester, why do people act like Brandon Beane is like the Cleveland Browns GM? He took the chance on Josh Allen. Meanwhile, the people wanted Josh Rosen. Without Beane picking Josh, we wouldn't be in this position. I 100%, bro. And I explained that last weekend. And you still got, I think you still got people out there that just they don't want to give him his dues for that, or they'll give him his dues, but then they'll push it to the side and say, well, everything else he did after that was shit. Name something else he did that was great here. And it's a bad take because the NFL is the ultimate team sport. You still got to build a roster around your quarterback, right? The fact that the Buffalo Bills have made the playoffs every year since 2019 tells you something. It tells you this roster isn't as bad as many people say. It tells you these draft picks weren't as garbage as everyone wants you to think. A lot of the draft picks are starters. A lot of the draft picks that we have here have gotten extensions for a reason. But we don't want to see that. We only want to see the bad picks that didn't work out. It's craziness. But 1,000% you have to give him his dues for the Josh Allen draft pick. Y'all don't realize if we had a different GM here, right? And I'm not saying that for 100% sure, but I can tell you this. When you look around the league that year, who passed up on Josh Allen? A former quarterback, John Elway, who knows football. He knows quarterbacks. Passed up on Josh Allen. And I'm telling you, if we had another GM here, who's to say he wouldn't have felt the same as John Elway and went, yeah, he has the tools, but boy, oh boy, he played for Wyoming, right? He barely got any offers anywhere else. He has a terrible completion percentage, right? Like, he said this on Twitter. Like, trust me, all that would come into play, and more than likely would have drafted Josh Rosen. And we would be once again finding a quarterback, trying to find a quarterback here in Buffalo. So, yes, you have to give Brandon Beane his dues. And don't tell me Sean McDermott was the primary reason why I got Josh Allen. I don't buy that either, because he wanted to change Josh Allen a couple years later when Dable left. It wasn't his vision for Josh Allen to be what he saw early on, right? He wanted Josh Allen to be a pocket passer, limit his running, right? Not taking chances downfield, not doing those things that Josh Allen did best. Limit him. He wanted a game manager. It's really what he wanted. So don't tell me like he was so sold on Josh Allen. I don't buy that either. I don't buy it. If he was so good at quarterback evaluating, why didn't he go and get Pat Mahomes the year before? He traded that pick to the Kansas City Chiefs and got Trey White. No disrespect to Trey White, but if we don't get Josh Allen the year after, that might go down as the worst trade of all time. Giving a team a Hall of Fame quarterback, because trust me, he's a Hall of Fame quarterback right now. So we don't get Josh. Yeah, we're fucked. That's a terrible trade. The only good of that would have been Sean McDermott would have been fired a lot earlier. It's the only good thing that would have happened out of that. Outside of that, we would have been fishing for a quarterback still. But people don't want to see that. People are going to stand their ground on this subject, guys. Like I could keep talking about this show after show after show, and I guess I will, because it seems like it's just an ongoing story or an ongoing topic. And I guess I feel like I'm like his lawyer at this point. I got to come out and defend this guy every show, and hey, it is what it is. I don't mind it. Mikey's getting tired of it. But you know me, I don't give a fuck. It is what it is. All right, if that's what we're gonna do, that's what we're gonna do. Scott Blakely, Sabres playing well, so fun to watch again. Last time I was this excited was when they were in the Adams division, sporting the French Connection. Yeah, I don't watch hockey, but man, congrats to them, man, because they have turned it around. I saw obviously they made the playoffs, so. I believe they won the division too, right? So I'll be rooting for them for sure. I'm not a big hockey guy. I'm not gonna lie to you, but I'll definitely tune in and be rooting for the Sabres, man. So I'm happy for you guys that are Sabres fans out there, because I know it's been rough being a Sabres fan for a while. So I get that. It's the Patriots way. Mike Vrabel is trying to get his mind off that Super Bowl loss. Yeah, trying to get his mind off other things. Who knows? J-Ham, Tommy, the switch started when Beane went on the radio last offseason. His ego showed, and then not being wrong. He was put under a microscope. After that, people switched. So I've talked about that too, J-Ham. Look, man, it's funny to me though how people act like they're perfect. That would never happen. That's never happened to them. That we've never had a bad moment, or we've said something that maybe we shouldn't have, right? Or we got, we were having a bad day and we acted out, right? And it just came off wrong. Like Brandon Beane was caught up and look, and I'm not saying it was right? I get that, but he's human. Like, we're all human beings there. There's nobody perfect in this world. I'm sorry. We all have made mistakes in our lifetime. We all have said stuff we regret it. And if we're going to hold that one thing against him, then I don't know. Then that's crazy to me, because what I see in Brandon Beane prior to that and after that is a guy that's laid back, that can go on any podcast, including Pat McAfee, and have a blast and just be chill. Not every GM will do that, guys. Like we're acting like all these GMs go on Pat McAfee, have a fun time. Like you ever see certain guests go on there and they're tightly wound, like they don't really know how to have a good time. Like Brandon Beane kicks back, relaxes. He's chill. Like I see nothing in the way he acts or presents himself as a egomaniac, an asshole. Like nothing. I've seen nothing from that dude. He made one mistake on the radio station. I could forgive him for that, guys. Like it's time to move on from that, from that radio segment. So yeah, I'm not going to kill a guy for saying that. I'm just not. I'm not going to hold it against them for years and years and years and be like, oh, but remember when he said, stop bitching? Like, who cares? Like, who cares? Who cares? Vrabel's an idiot before the BS. Now he is a creepy one. Sandra, I read a story that Diggs was trying to All right, Diana. Before that happened, nobody wants that community. Oh my God. Yeah, there's a lot coming out right now on the Diana Rossini thing. Stuff she said about her husband like years ago. It's the problem is too now with her is because this all happened now, right? You know what happens next? The media will dig. The media will dig and dig and dig, and they will find more shit on you. They will. If there's something out there that you did, you got something hiding in your closet. I'm telling you, they're gonna find a way to find out that story, and they're gonna put it out there. So they opened up a can of worms. Like, believe me, I don't think this is over yet, and I think there's gonna be more coming out. And this is honestly, I'm surprised that The Athletic is still employing her or hasn't disciplined her or something. Like, I'm really surprised, to be honest with you. As far as the Patriots go, look, what he did or what he's, accused of or whatever, that has nothing to do with football. Like, as far as him and the team, like, I don't think that's anything the Patriots should step in and do anything. Like, listen, even if they are cheating on your wife look, it has nothing to do with football. Let's be real here, guys. Okay, it has nothing to do with football. And I don't think the Patriots should do anything about it. Right, it has nothing to do with what he does as a coach. So, but for her as a journalist, as a media, it could be a problem. Conflict of interest, absolutely, right? So we'll see what happens. Can coaches get fined? Mike Vrabel is finally having to take money out. I don't think so. I don't think the NFL, you can't. I mean, you could personal life. You can, whatever. I mean, it has nothing to do with he's not staining the league or the team. I mean, I don't think. I feel for the kids. Yeah, I'm with you, Robert. I actually mentioned that to Captain D, my buddy. I said, yeah, it sucks. You kind of feel for the kids too, because obviously this is a big story, and obviously, kids talk. So I'm sure they're going to hear it from fellow classmates or friends or whatever. And it's yeah, I'm with you. Like, it sucks. It sucks for the families. Put it that way. It does. Joe Brady will never do such a thing. Who knows? Yeah, I want to put it past anyone at this point. Right? Kevin, what's up, everyone? Look like Vrabel and Diggs are partners in infidelity crime. Oh my God. Oh, morally corrupt. Let's see here. Cheating on your wife is a character flaw. Vrabel is a clown. Yeah, I'm with you. Look, and I will say this. It's not... I don't know if he cheated. Right? Nobody knows for sure. However, it's a terrible look. It's a bad look. It's a bad look. Name 3 coaches we would take during this hiring cycle. You talking about this past one that I would have took over Joe Brady? I honestly, I might have taken Dable over him. The thing is this, though. Here's the problem. I like the coaching staff so much that if Joe Brady isn't hired, I don't know if it's the same coaching staff, if that makes sense. So with that being said, I'll stick to the hire because I'm so sold on the coaching staff. If that makes sense, if that makes any sense. I'm really behind on the chat. We do got a super chat. Let me get with that real quick.
Thank you very much. Thank you very
My dude, thank you so much, man. Appreciate that. Super chat. Let me get that music popping real quick. Marino's Legacy coming in with the $20 super chat. Appreciate you, man. Every super chat gets that Buffalo Bills train horn. There's a weird anti-Beane agenda going on with local media and WGR for whatever reason. Something personal is going on, and I'm starting to think McDermott is laundering narratives from behind the scenes. Boy, that's an interesting take. I don't know if McDermott would do that. However, you never know. I wouldn't put it past anyone to do anything these days. But it does seem like there's an agenda going on with a lot of national media, with not national, local media, because some national media backs Brandon Beane. They think he's done a great job, right? But then you got local media, right? WGR, and obviously the relationship between Brandon Beane and WGR kind of changed a little bit after that one interview, even though Brandon Beane still went on after that. And then you got obviously podcasts out there that are just sold on the idea that Brandon Beane is not the guy, that he's just as fault as McDermott was, that he may be more at fault than McDermott was. That everything he does is wrong. Every decision he makes is a poor decision. And I just don't buy into that. I just feel like certain people, certain podcasts, certain local media like WGR, whoever is saying this, and I don't listen to WGR a lot, but I feel like they want to stick with it. They don't, and it doesn't matter what he does moving forward, that's going to be their take, and they're just going to stick with it. And I'm not with that. I can't get behind that. I can't. I've done my homework just like every other podcaster. I'm not on here just being an optimistic Bills fan, a homer. Matter of fact, there's only been one season in this, and I would say in the McDermott era or the Allen era, whatever you want to call it, that I actually said, or I felt like the Buffalo Bills are going to win a Super Bowl that year. And that was 2021, going into the 2021 season. And I felt strongly about that because how 2020 went. And I said, man, if you see Josh Allen's progress, right, from 2018 to 2019 to 2020, which was a major leap, I said, my God, 2021, there is no reason why we can't get to Super Bowl and win a Super Bowl. Like, look at Allen's progression. And we just added more players to help. I think we brought in Emmanuel Sanders that year. Like, this is it. Right? And I was even still behind McDermott at the time, guys. I was, because I said, man, this guy got us to the playoffs of 2017, even though it was almost a little fluky, but whatever. 2018, I give him the pass because obviously Josh Allen's, rookie year. We kind of just, Brandon Beane flushed out the old as far as, Marcel Darius and players like that to kind of relieve some cap. We didn't have a lot of, Allen didn't have a lot of weapons to work with that year. I was okay with that. I got that. You have to do that. That's a rebuilding type of year. I'm okay with that. 2019 comes, we get into the playoffs. I'm like, okay, here we go. Now Josh Allen's still, finding his ways, right? But you see the potential. You see him getting a little bit better, correcting some things in 2019. And then 2020 comes around, and Josh Allen is just lights out, one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL that year, if not the best quarterback in the NFL that year, in my opinion, right? Probably should have won an MVP that year. And if you remember that offseason, Josh Allen, he pretty much every offseason he was working with Palmer, but he went and saw a specialist, fix his mechanics, and he went from 58.9 or 59% completion percentage to like 67 or 68% completion percentage in 2020. I mean, he was a way different quarterback. And we brought in Stephon Diggs that year as well, right? So 2021, yeah, dude, I was like, yeah. But since 2021, since the 13-second game, I've never felt confident this team could win a Super Bowl, right? Of course, I still believe that there's a chance, But I wasn't going, I could see this team going to Super Bowl for sure. Like, I was never, because I just didn't have faith in the guy leading the charge, which was Sean McDermott, leading the way, leading the men on the field. I didn't believe his words. I didn't believe his vision. I didn't believe his scheme. Everything after that point was over for me at that point. At that point, I was like, the only way this team's getting to Super Bowl, Allen's going to have to go bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. And we kind of, not get lucky, but just the offense just goes wild, right? Right? That's the only way. It wouldn't have been a coaching thing. It wouldn't have been that the defense stepped up. It would have just happened to been a miracle offensive season or playoff run by the Buffalo Bills. And that just didn't happen. By the way, we had good offensive runs, but it wasn't elite 40 points, making up for the shitty defense that gave up 33.5 points. That averaged 33.5 points. That's unbelievable. That's terrible. So now, right now, as we sit, I'm going to tell you this, and I mean this. I believe this team is a Super Bowl caliber team as we sit right fucking now. That's even before the draft. I am very confident in this team because we got rid of what was preventing us from getting into the Super Bowl. And this is how much I believe in this coaching staff. And I believe in the vision. And I believe in the players. And and what I also love about what's going on right now is the players are already buying in. Right? Did you hear what Deion Dawkins said? Right? About about this new coach, about what's going on in Buffalo? Right? He said, look, I got to see a new vibe. The energy is different. The energy is definitely different. And we are all very, very excited to see how it goes. But I think it's going well already. Like, players are already buying in. The vibe is up. The energy is up. When is the last time you heard that from Bills players? Right? You're starting to hear around, other players kind of come out and say the vibe is different. We don't feel handcuffed anymore. Right? Trust me, guys, coaching matters. Matters a lot. Mr. Fulton, thanks for the super chat. Absolutely. Let's see here. I don't think McD cares that much. In my opinion, I think he's got more class. I doubt it. I doubt it. But I don't think it's a McDermott thing thrown in there. But I do believe I just believe people have it out for Beane. I don't know. I don't get it. Russo and I, every time my business is good. Did I miss Russo? Where's that? Oh, Rossini and I, Vrabel is my business is good. Okay. I don't think McDermott is this nice guy people think he is. And he wasn't that nice, sweet guy. Like, listen, I think McDermott was, I'm not saying he was a bad guy, but I think he ran a different type of ship here in Buffalo. And I think certain coaches, the way he treated certain coaches, probably was not good. The way he treated certain players wasn't good. It seemed like there's a lot of that article or a lot of that, hit piece, whatever you want to call it, by Tyler Dunn. A lot of it holds weight, man. I believe in it, man. I mean, why did Chad Hall leave, right? Beloved wide receiver coach, just to go and coach for the Jaguars and do this. Coach, he wasn't like he got upgraded to offensive coordinator. He went and coached wide receivers coach there. Same position on a team that wasn't really going anywhere. So why leave a great thing in Buffalo where players loved you? They went and bought Chad Hall a truck. I don't think McDermott liked players getting along with the coaches. I'll be honest with you. I don't think he liked that they had personal relationship with Chad Hall or Brian Dable, right? I think McDermott, and I think it was in the piece that they actually said that he just didn't like that. I think McDermott held a different tight. He kind of held a tight ship here, and I don't think certain players liked it. I think players eventually respected him because they were here for so long. Some of the veteran players, but I don't know if they truly loved him as a coach, right? Especially if they're coming out now and saying, "Yeah, I kind of felt like we were walking on eggshells at times," or that. Couldn't really be ourselves that time, or that's a bad thing. That's not good. You don't want to hear that. And I'm not saying you need to have a player's coach all the time and let them do whatever they want, but you got to give a little cushion there. Tommy, do you agree the only way Joe Brady hire would work is if you got the coaching staff right? Yeah. If Brady didn't get the coaching staff right, I would be not. I honestly, I would probably be speaking a different tune. That wouldn't mean I would be not believing in the player still, or not believing in Beane's vision. But if this coaching staff wasn't the coaching staff now, and Brady, let's say Brady's stuck with Bobby Babich and a couple other, Bills coaches, position coaches, and some of the coaches he brought in were just, I wasn't feeling like, yeah, I would 100% feel differently going into the season. I don't know how confident I would be. I'm not, and that's the truth. But the reality is that's not the case. J-Ham, I think Brady will be a lot more creative with scheme. Having a run game is something that McDermott wanted, even though it's really good with the evidence that it was protecting McDermott's defense by chewing clock. Yeah, and that's not going away. Like, look, the run game's going to be there, guys. The run game's still going to be there. It's still going to be something we rely on. James Cook has proven that he can be, 200 carry kind of running back, right? He's proven that he can be a playmaker. Clearly, 2 years he's shown that, and that's why he got the contract extension. So that's not going away. However, the scheme may change a little bit, right? Meaning, are we going to take, deeper shots downfield more often? Probably. Right? Are we just going to run a little bit different type of route tree for these receivers? Like, I do think that's going to change. Are we going to go more up tempo at times rather than everything slowed down for the defense? So we can keep the defense on the sideline. Like, yeah, I think that mindset is definitely going to change 100%, because I think McDermott wanted that to help out his defense that just was not doing their job. He wanted to keep them on the sideline as long as possible. Problem is, though, we didn't always score on those drives. And then your defense comes out and gives up a touchdown. Now, before you know it, you're down 10-3 or 10-0. Local media feeling was hurt. Yeah, well, that's too bad for the local media. Right? Too fucking bad. 13-2 was my Super Bowl season. Yeah, mine too. I really felt strongly about that season. And after that, dude, guys, like, if you know me and you know my channel, I was telling people, I was putting videos out, the Bills should fire McDermott. I was done. I seen enough. At that point, that was enough for me. Honestly. And then really, to be honest, like, after the 2022 season, dude, I went ham. I was like, forget this guy. I can't do another season with Sean McDermott as our head coach. But, our owner, Terry Bagula saw things differently. And he gave him a long leash. And that's why I'm shocked that Bills fans were so upset that Sean McDermott got fired. Like, 9 seasons. Guys, come on, man. Like, he didn't do him dirty. He gave him 9 years to prove himself. 9. And I'm not saying he was a terrible head coach, but that's 9 years is a long time for you not to even get to a Super Bowl. When you have one of the best, if not the best, quarterbacks in the NFL. And don't give me the roster wasn't good enough. Yes, it was. It was good enough. It was the scheme that was broken. Why do you think players left here and were better versions of themselves elsewhere? Poona Ford, Tim Settle. Right? Come on, man. We couldn't even get Poona Ford a game day jersey. You know, it's just crazy to me, man. Tommy, is 2021 the biggest what if? Yes, it is. Absolutely. Absolutely. There is no other what if. Like, guys, come on, man. Let's be real here. The Bills win that game. They're going to the Super Bowl. 100%. Are they winning a Super Bowl? I can't tell you. But if they beat the Chiefs in that 13-second game, the way that offense was clicking that season and then into that playoffs, there's no doubt in my mind. There's no doubt in my mind the Buffalo Bills beat the Bengals and go to the Super Bowl. 100%. 100%. Our offense was that good. It was that good. It was that good, and McDermott wanted to change it. How about that? How about that? Does anyone ever talk about that? Our offense was that fucking good. Was that electric that he wanted to change the offense? Oh, my God. What? What a fucking idiot. Why? Why? That wasn't good enough. Good enough for you? Remember the season he said a couple games, I think it was or it might have been a game where we had to go up tempo, right? Scoring a lot of like because we had to play fucking catch up because the defense was allowing a shit ton of points. And he said, I don't like that style of play. It's not really what I want, right? He doesn't like that. He wants to slow down. You know, he would love a 13-10 score if he had it his way. Doesn't want the up-tempo offense. He didn't like that. High scoring, quick scoring. Because if we score too quick, oh my God, this defense good, can't do their job. Like, bro, isn't this the defense that you put on the field? Isn't this the defensive scheme that you put out there? Why can't your defense get a stop? Now you hurt the offense to help your defense? It made zero sense. It made zero sense, but nobody wants to talk about it. We had an offense that was in scoring, in the high 30s, right? Man. It's frustrating. I'm telling you. People want to forget, man. People want to forget that stuff, and they're just on this Beane is the problem. Personnel is the problem. Personnel, the players. We should have had better players all these years. Guys, the team has been good. The team has been a Super Bowl caliber team. There's been a couple seasons, 1,000%. The Bills should have at least made a Super Bowl. It was that good. I don't care about what people think, what other teams look like on paper. I know what I see on game day. So when I'm watching a team throughout the course of a season, my team, and that run, these runs, this Allen run, this Allen era, I'm saying, man, yeah, the players are there. We have enough. We do. We have enough, and we have an elite quarterback. But my biggest question mark was the fucking coach. That was my biggest downfall, and obviously the defense. And it wasn't the players. It was the scheme and the guy that was coaching the defense. Period. And I get last year. I get the last 2 years we needed a receiver. I get it. But whose fault was that? Who told Brandon Beane that we don't need a Stephon Diggs? Trade his ass. Oh, we don't want to. Nobody wants to talk about that. Who got rid of Stephon Diggs? Sean McDermott. Sean McDermott and Stephon Diggs did not get along. Why? Because Sean McDermott had a whole new vision, or had a vision that he had in the very beginning that he couldn't do, I guess, right away because of Brian Daboll was in his way. But once Brian Daboll left and he fired Ken Dorsey, and Brady, a young offensive coordinator, wanted that job, he got behind on what McDermott wanted, his vision, his scheme on the offense, which I wish McDermott never had his hand in the offense, but he did. And Stephon Diggs was like, whoa, what's going on here? And then they brung this everybody eats. They told you this. So listen, what is Brandon Beane going to do at that position at that time? No, fuck you, Sean McDermott. We're keeping Stephon Diggs. You go fuck yourself. I just gave him an extension. We're going to lose a lot of money if we cut him. Right? We're going to eat a lot of dead cap. Fuck you. Of course he's not going to say that, folks. Right? If he said that, we'd have a fucking problem. Because why? Because ownership, GM, coaching, all have to link up. Or it's a dumpster fire. Or you got problems like you have in Cleveland, and the Jets, and Miami, where the GM and the coaches don't see the things the same. Or the GM's fighting the coach over players and draft picks and free agency. And then that's when you got fucked up problems with your team. And that's what leads to losing seasons. So, of course, Brandon Beane was going to buy into what Sean McDermott was saying. Of course. Even if it meant eating dead cap for Stephon Diggs that he just paid. But we want to blame Brandon Beane for not having a receiver here. We had one. What are we talking about? And they sold him on the idea, and they told him, this is what we're going to do. We don't want an alpha. We don't want a one. We want these type of guys brought in here. This is the type of receivers that we want in this new system. Spend your money on defense. In the draft, concentrate on defense. Because we still haven't gotten it right yet. So it slowly shifted back to the defense again. And what happened? Still can't get it right. And what else happened? Oh, we do need a number one. Oh, don't put that on Brandon Beane. Everyone talk about how we're in cap hell. Oh, we're eating all this dead money, dead cap. A big part of that was Stephon Diggs, folks. A big part of that. And you know what? Maybe Brandon Beane should have told Sean McDermott to go fuck himself at that point. No, fuck you. Yeah. Well, I'm not getting rid of our best receiver because you have fucking issues with him, because you want to change the offense. I just paid him. You know what that's going to do for our team? It's going to set us back money-wise. That's what I would have done. But you know what? That's me. And you know what? That causes probably problems. So I get it. I understand it. But you know what? People don't. They want to blame Beane. Beane is the problem. Tommy Sean felt like the type of coach to just let the players figure it out with his arms crossed on the sidelines. Joe Brady seems like that type of coach. He seems like he's going to be the same as Sean, you're saying? Coach, let me see if I've read that wrong. Sean felt like the type of coach to just let the players figure it out with his arms crossed on the sidelines. Joe Brady seems like that type of coach. Okay. I don't think so. I think they're different in that. I got to disagree there. But we'll find out shortly. Like, I don't know his coaching style, right? None of us do. So I guess that's a we'll have to see situation, right? Because I don't want to say for sure that's not going to be what Joe Brady does, and I think it's unfair to say that's what he'll be like. You get what I'm saying? Like, you know, we don't know that yet, so we'll wait and see on that, okay? But because I have no idea how Joe Brady will be as a head coach. All I could tell you is, as of now, as we sit today, the players seem more motivated. They seem bought in. The vibe is different. The energy is different. I love to hear that. And I'm buying into that. And I believe the players when they say that, right? They could have said they could have said nothing. Just gone in there and said nothing, had no comment. You know what I mean? Or just, maybe just dummy it down a little bit and be like, oh, we'll stand behind our coach or whatever. They went above and beyond by saying that, right? Like, that means something. That holds volume. That holds weight. Jam, what does give hope is seeing the other players talk about Brady? Pete Carmichael said, I've waited 7 years to work for Joe Brady. That's something to write home about. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. McDermott, was he dagged his wide receiver coach because the wide receiver loved him more than McDermott? Yes, absolutely. Right? They bought him a truck. Right? Remember that? The wide receiver room bought Chad Hall a brand new pickup truck. Who does that? Players that respect the shit out of that coach. Remember when Von Miller was here and he was making all the shirts for all the players and the coaching staff? I could be wrong on this, but I don't recall a Sean McDermott shirt made. Do you? Do you guys recall that? I don't. I remember there was a Leslie Frazier shirt. I remember there's a Brandon Beane shirt because I have one right there. That white shirt that's in the background by the NWO belt. I believe he made a Allen shirt, but I don't think there was a McDermott shirt. I could be wrong, but I don't recall that. Right? Players weren't like necessarily, oh, McDermott's, this great guy. We're gonna, buy him this, treat him to a dinner. When do you hear any of that? I hear none of that. None of that. When did you hear free agents, by the way, come in here and go, oh, I can't wait to play for McDermott. I can't wait to play. I can't wait. If it was a defensive player, oh, man, his scheme, boy, that scheme, it's super exciting. I can't wait to play in that defense. Like, name a player. Who? The only players that ever said that were like Jordan Phillips, the guy that was just comfortable in playing in Buffalo, right? And that's fine. But for the most part, you never heard free agents come here and be like, I signed because of Sean McDermott. I can't wait to play with Sean McDermott. No, they never said that. Josh Allen was always the reason why. Right? Why? Why was that? Because Josh Allen's the one that gave him hope. Not Sean McDermott. Come on, man. When a player goes and plays for the Kansas City Chiefs, of course they're going to mention Patrick Mahomes. But they're going to mention Andy Reid. Can't wait to play for Coach Reid. Can't wait to play for Coach Reid. Boy, he's so innovative, and can't wait to play for, as defense corner Stags. Can't wait if it's a defensive player, right? Can't wait to get going on that defense. When did you ever hear that here? Never. That's a problem. Oh, man. Where am I? I feel like I'm behind. I don't know. I hate getting behind. All I want Dawkins to do is focus on protecting JA-17. I agree. And you know what? He seems like he's lost some weight, which is good. Obviously getting older, he needs to, do that. And he probably had a little bit of a down year last year, which he did. And he probably knows that. He'll be fine. Guys, the one thing I was going to tell you about Deion Dawkins is the dude's been super reliable. He has been. You may not be, super happy with some of games that he's, isn't at his best. But overall, since he's been here since 2017, the dude's been legit. He's been healthy, right? For the most part. He's lived up to his contract. Let's be real. So what is there to complain about Deion Dawkins? That's the other thing. Like fans are like, boy, it's like fans just expect greatness all the time. Gotta be great, Deion. you know. And look, I get it. We're gonna, you know, it's okay to critique, and that's what I do here too. When we you know, go live after games or, you know, the next day, of course you're gonna critique players and how they played. You're also gonna give them their dues, their credit, whatever. I get that, and I'm gonna critique him when he plays bad, but I'm also going to be real and tell you overall, if we're going to talk about Dion Dawkins as a player, as an offensive lineman, tackle for this team, he's done a great job. He's lived up to his money. That's all I expect. That's all we can expect. When you get paid here, right, whether that be a free agent or you get an extension after your rookie contract's up, can you live up to it? Can you live up to it? And if you do, I got no fucking problems with you. Zero. Right? When it comes to Stephon Diggs, did he deserve his extension when we gave it to him? Yes. Yes. He didn't have a season where he was under 1,000 yards for this team. He gave you everything you wanted as a number one. Right? Gave you everything you wanted. It was deserved. So I don't hate that. What I hate is players getting extended and don't live up to their contracts, getting constantly hurt, right? And there was some bad decision-making on Brandon Beane's part, yes. Matt Milano probably shouldn't have been extended, right? That's one of them. There's been some bad free agent signings. I'm not going to lie. You know, you got to be smarter than that. But I'm not going to kill him over giving a player an extension, Stephon Diggs, and having your head coach go to you and tell him, I don't need this guy. He's a problem. Cut him. Waive him. Trade him. Do whatever you need to do. I don't want him on my team. I know we're going to take a hit. I know it, but I don't care. I don't want him here because we can do it without him. That's your coach said. That's what your coach believed in. He didn't tell Brandon Beane, hey, look, shop him, trade him for another receiver elsewhere, right? Let's make sure that we bring in a one, right? Because we need that, right? We can't just go on without a number one. We still need no, that's not what he said. He wanted everyone to believe that we can win without a one. And, of course, Beane backed up his coach. Of course, he did the right thing. Right thing for his coach, not the right thing, I should say. Oh, man. Let's see here. What does give hope is seeing the other players talk about Brady, Pete Carmack instead of... Oh, okay, I already read that. Okay, so I'm good with Coach McDermott being cut. Yeah, absolutely. How you doing, Billy? Appreciate you stopping in, man. I think Jim Leonard is aiming to be a head coach, and to be that, he needs a Super Bowl caliber defense to put the lights on himself to be hired. I think we need a mentality in the building. Absolutely. That's a great comment. And a lot of this coaching staff are young, and a lot of this coaching staff have like potential head coaching careers. Like they could be head coaches, right? That's how highly some of these coaches are. Like, you know, they see these coaches' future being, right? So it's a great thing. Absolutely. I'm all here for it. And you're all right. And Jim Leonard could come here, fix this defense because it was broken. And I don't believe it was the players. I believe it was the scheme. Once again, if he could turn this defense around, where this defense can be counted on, come time in the playoffs, we will be a Super Bowl team, guys. Come on, man. Once again, the defense has averaged 33.5 points, giving up 33.5 points. So are you telling me that that's good enough, that the Bills should just be fine with that? No. The teams that win the Super Bowl are well-rounded teams. Seattle was good offensively, good defensively. That's how you get it done. It's rare that you can win a Super Bowl being one-sided. It happens, but it's rare. You gotta be well-rounded. And this team never was well-rounded. It just wasn't. And hopefully now, Jim Leonard can make that happen. If he can make that happen, cut those points down in the playoffs defensively, why wouldn't the Buffalo Bills reach a Super Bowl, guys? Why? I think we averaged over 30 a game, or we were around 30 a game in the playoffs. That's really good. And that's without a one over the last 2 years. Now we got the one in DJ Moore, right? So let's say we average, let's say that goes up to 34, 35, whatever. Let's say 35. If Jim Leonard, right, he can get this defense on track, it get them to give up, on average, let's say be fair, let's say 27 even. We win. We're fine. We go to Super Bowl. We're good. But if he can even do better than that, we're golden. And I believe he can. But time will tell. Time will tell. Oh, by the way, I meant coaches earlier. Okay. I'm sorry. Mr. Fulton, the most interesting man in the chat. Okay. Hello, Tommy and everyone. I'm still not feeling well. I have a very bad cold. Keep me in your prayers. All right, Mr. Fulton. Prayers are sent your way, brother. I hope you feel better soon, brother. If Roy is here, Beane Island, baby. I don't think Roy's here tonight. Or was he? I don't know. I thought maybe he was here earlier. I'm not sure. He chased Dable out of here. Absolutely, he did. Now, look, Dable's going to, obviously, he wanted to be a head coach. But he definitely, I think Dable, if he didn't get that opportunity, they probably would have parted ways at some point. Like, clearly, they weren't seeing the same thing, right? There was a tug of war going on between McDermott and Dable. It was getting ugly. Like, let's be real. And I think that was also happening between him and Frazier. The only difference was Frazier's just, for me, the way he seems like a guy that's just more laid back than Dable. He's, soft-spoken. I don't think he was going to make a big scene or create a scene between him and McDermott, right? And that's kind of why they just came to the conclusion where, hey, we're going to, Frazier's going to take a year off and see what happens. That was a friendly way of saying shit ain't going right, but we're not going to say anything. We're just going to part ways, right? Like, but there was problems within, trust me. Remember, we have to stay hungry and humble. Absolutely. Always. Too many players came from Carolina defense retirement plan. Yeah, I agree too, and that's a little bit on McDermott as well. I mean, you got to remember, he was the one that was plucking, guys that he was familiar with, and what's one thing McDermott liked? He liked familiar, from being familiar, having familiarity with players, right? That were familiar with the defense. Why do you think he kept going back to a lot of vet players that played on this team that weren't on the team? That were, the beginning of the year, he would go back and get AJ Klein or Jordan Phillips or, Trey White. Like, he just was unwilling to get another player that didn't understand his defense or wasn't here prior. Like, I don't get it. He also wanted choir boys in this locker room all the time. Like, he just had a different type of vision, bro. I mean, that's just the way it was. I met Joe Brady. Don't see him like the type of coach. He's an energy vibe type coach. Absolutely. He's also a younger coach that's going to understand the players a little bit more than McDermott did, in my opinion. People don't like Brady. People don't like Brady promotion. Kevin Petula had a started roster and was still cheeks. Would you promoted him? I don't know. I don't even know who. I'll be honest. I have no idea who Kevin Petullo is. Truth be told, this was a Super Bowl team this year. We beat ourselves in the Denver game. We win that like we were supposed to. we would have bodied the Patriots. Look, I'm with you. I think if we win that Broncos game against the Broncos, there's a big chance we go to the Super Bowl. Absolutely. Because New England was not offensively, they were playing like crap. Let's be real. Like Drake May was not the Drake May of the regular season in the playoffs. He was pretty bad in the playoffs, turning the ball over left and right. We would have 1,000% had an opportunity to go to the Super Bowl. And I could definitely see us beating the Patriots. But it didn't happen that way. It did not happen that way. And yeah, we're at where we're at now, man. We can't turn back the clock. You know what I mean? So we got another super chat. Let me go ahead and hit that real quick. Marino's Legacy with another super chat. Give me 1 second. My dude. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you. Turn that down a little bit. All right. Marino's Legacy coming in with a super chat. Montana in his playoff career had 47 touchdowns, 21 turnovers. Allen at age 29 is 39 and 10 turnovers in the playoffs. Allen already has more playoff touchdowns than Elway entire playoff career. Yeah, no, listen. Allen's been a beast in the playoffs. He had one, he had a couple bad games. I would say the Houston 2019 wasn't his best showing. I would say the 2020 AFC Championship game, he had a rough going there. But overall, and then obviously Denver, and Denver game. But outside of that, I mean, Allen's been damn near perfect. He's played out of his mind in the playoffs. So I can't point my finger at this offense. I can't point my finger at Josh Allen and saying they were the problem. That was the issue. If they only did this, that, and this, we win. If we only scored 40 points against Denver, we have no problem. Like that thinking it's just not a reality. You have to eventually count on the defense doing their job. And once again, for as poorly as we played, for as many turnovers as we had, we still put up 30 points against the Broncos. We still gave an opportunity for the defense to do their job, get the offense off the field for the Broncos, and you win that game. That's it. But it didn't happen. Of course it didn't happen. Was anyone shocked that the Broncos went down the field and scored a touchdown? No. Of course not. Why do you think so many fans were like so upset that the Buffalo Bills, that Josh Allen missed that throw? It wasn't so much that, that would have put us up whatever. It was more the fact that, fuck, man. Can't count on the defense. Or the defense is about to give up points. Like, that's terrible. That's a terrible way to think. When you got 4 minutes, or I think it was less than 4 minutes, it was like 3 and change left in a game, and you're up 4 with a defensive-minded head coach, you should feel very confident that your defense should be able to do their job at that particular time. Period. Yes, Allen missed the throw. I get it. But we still went up 4. We still put up points. Why can't we count on the defense ever? Why does it always have to go back to the offense? Why? This makes no sense. Tommy, you might need to zoom your screen or get your eyes checked. It seems like you're struggling to read the screen. I'm being genuine, by the way. So it's all good, brother. So it's funny because not a lot of people ask, but I got terrible eyes. I got problems. And that's why I wear sunglasses as well. I got like kind of an eye disease, as you would call it. And yeah, it's a little bit of a problem with the lighting. And obviously when I wear the sunglasses, I have to zoom in a little bit and read your comments. So, yeah, you have to bear with me on that, and that's the reason why I wear sunglasses, because I have eye problem, eye disease or whatever, and obviously then things are a little bit darker, so I have to I have to zoom myself in there to the screen to read the comments. So, yeah, I appreciate that, but that it's there's a reason behind that. But yeah, it's funny because certain people, I've had people, I would be like a guest on someone's channel, or I've even, done podcasts here where somebody will be like, leave a comment and say, oh, you think you're so cool wearing sunglasses, you think you're a cool guy. And it's like, dude, that's not, I am cool, but it has nothing to do with that. This is zero to do with being cool on camera. And by the way, it's not like I'm the only guy that wears sunglasses on podcasts. Many podcasters wear sunglasses, many of them. And I'm talking about national media guys wear sunglasses during their podcast. So it's not a cool thing for me. Maybe for some, it's more of just I have an eye issue. So that's the reason why. That's the reason why. Love that train horn. That's right. Let me see if I missed any other chats. Diggs calling him out for not taking accountability for 13 seconds. Probably. I mean, I'm sure certain players did. I mean, I remember Diggs was pissed after that game. Right? What do you say? What do you say again? Something like, I'm so sick of this. This is always happening, or, happen again, or something like that. Like always letting us down, right? The defense seems to be always letting us down. Coaching always letting us down. And I think really that's where his frustration went. And look, Diggs wasn't perfect here, meaning he didn't handle himself great at the end, right? Let's be real when it comes to that. He was taking shots on social media, acting a little bit foolish on the sideline at times. We know this, right? It's not a hidden thing, but the reality is a lot of alphas do that. Alpha receivers, right? That's just in there. I don't know what it is, but a lot of them do that, right? It's through the history of the NFL. Receivers have that diva attitude about them, right? And you kind of sometimes got to deal with it, right? It's just it comes with the nature of the beast. But that wasn't the issue, right? What happened was, for me, when I see it, was when Brady took over and McDermott wanted this offense to be ran a certain way, you saw Diggs' numbers go down. You saw his production go down. You saw we started throwing the ball a little bit more to Khalil Shakir. If you recall, that's what happened. And I think it was a problem. It was a problem for Diggs. He saw the offense was going in a different direction. And I think him and McDermott were just clashing at that point on what the offense was truly about. And I don't think Diggs was a part of it. Like, he wasn't part of the plan. And I think he was more of a problem. And yeah, you saw it. You saw it in the offseason when McDermott and Diggs had a fallout, and when Diggs reported to camp, but McDermott said he didn't report to camp, it was just all downhill from there. It was all downhill from there. And basically McDermott went to Beane and told him, get him out of here. He didn't say replace him. He didn't say bring back a number one. He didn't say that at all. He said, I don't want to deal with another alpha receiver here. I don't want to deal with another guy that's going to be the voice of the locker room outside of mine. I'm not going to have it happen. I'm not going to have anybody stand up and say something. And that's what Diggs was doing. He didn't like it. And he got him out of here. So don't blame Beane for that. Right? He paid Stephon Diggs to stay in town. You guys forget that. He didn't. It's not like Beane was like, I'm not going to pay the guy. Fuck that guy. Fine. I'll buy into that. If that was the case, I would be like, bro, I'm with you guys. Why didn't Beane give him an extension? Why did Beane trade him, right? It seemed to me like he wanted him here. He paid him. He paid him what he wanted, if you remember. There was no problem with the pay. This wasn't about money. But nobody wants to talk about that. They want to play in Beane for the salary cap, but nobody wants to talk about why did Stephon Diggs leave Buffalo? Why was he forced to be traded? Why did we have to eat all that dead cap? Sean McDermott. But we want to point it at Beane. Like, Beane's the problem. I don't get it. Anyways, let me get to some of these if I missed anything. I don't think I missed anything. So, okay. So, I'm glad I'm caught up. I'm caught up with the chat. So, tonight, I wanted to do something because I think we got all that talk out of the way, right? Right? Okay. So, let's have some fun now. All right? Now that we went through the whole McDermott, Beane, Diggs, salary cap nightmare, let's have some fun, right? So, what I wanted to do was I wanted to do this, the Buffalo Bills top position group, or top players from each position group, or the main position groups, since 2000. I want you guys to chime along, let me know if you agree or disagree. This was actually, I believe, Built in Buffalo made this one. So here's the players that they have here on this board. I want to see if I could make that bigger. Hold on real quick. Let me see. There we go. Okay, that's fine. I'm on the bottom. They have, this is the order they have. So, and then we're going to do running back, receiver, all the other positions. All right. To be honest, I was surprised we stopped the first go around. Stopped on the first go around. Yeah. All right, here we go. So, starting with, and these are the top 12. Starting with number 12, Jeff Toole, Matt Castle, 2015, Nathan Peterman. See, I'm already disagreeing with this list. I'd have Nate Peterman last. He was the worst quarterback I have ever seen. I think he holds the record for like the most interceptions in the first half. He was terrible. So for me, and these guys aren't any better, but for me, Nate Peterman belongs last on this list. So right there, I'm swapping Nate Peterman out for Toole. So I'm going Peterman, Toole, Castle, Brom. So for that, I'm good with. EJ Manuel, Trent Edwards, JP Lossman, Kyle Orton, Drew Bledsoe, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Tyrod Taylor, Josh Allen. I would say the rest of the list I'm okay with. I would say the only one that's maybe could swap out is Taylor and Fitz. But Taylor was part of that playoff drought team that, finally got in the playoffs. So maybe he deserves a nod over Fitz. I think Fitz had better games and moments, though, here. Drew Bledsoe was only good for one season, though it was an epic season. So I'm good with him right there. So what is your guys' thoughts before we move on to different position group? So just curious. Do you have dark mode on? I do. It's nothing to do with that, J-Ham. I got really, really, really sensitive eyes, poor eyes. I got a little bit of eye disease. So trust me when I tell you, none of that's going to help. This is how I do it. It's not, I wish they did have some kind of zoom in feature for the chats. They don't. So you'll have to bear with me while I look like an old man and squint my eyes and just go as close as I can to your guys' chats. So anyways, so let me know what you think of this list before we move on. I'll wait it out here for you guys. a little bit here to tell me what you guys feel. If there's anybody here that you would swap around on this list of top 12 quarterbacks since 2000. You know what? I totally forgot about Matt Castle being on this team. Terrible. I mean, this goes to show you how bad it was here since, Josh Allen, before Josh Allen got here. It was terrible. Well, let's be real here. Like, for as much as I like, Tyrod Taylor and Fitzpatrick and Drew Bledsoe, like, they weren't the answer, right? They just weren't. They simply weren't. We got a Drew Bledsoe that was, 1 year out of him. A guy that was so beaten up by that time already early in his career. And yeah, we got 1 good year out of him, and he went to Dallas after, and he still wasn't the same. You could see he was declining. And he actually was really declining his second year with us. He played for us for 3 years, but it was nothing like his 2002 season. But he just, he just didn't have a lot of time in the NFL, at least, prime years, Ryan Fitzpatrick was just one of those guys, right? We love Ryan Fitzpatrick, Fitzmagic, but more bad came from good from Fitz, I think. So, but man, Kyle Orton, come on, man. Like, I didn't hate him. I actually was kind of like Kyle Orton, but he wasn't a franchise quarterback. We weren't going anywhere. Let's see. You're going back to PPP earlier. I don't get the hype that Aramis gave Kubiak. I don't think he was that much better than Brady. I don't know. It's just weird to me that everyone thinks that he would have been the best fit. Yeah, I'm with you. I would have, going back, I did say I would have preferred Kubiak over Brady because of what he did as an offensive coordinator, okay? However, with that being said, I don't know if this coaching staff is the same. And that's where the problem lays. Because I really believe in his coaching staff. Right? I really do. And I don't think it's the same coaching staff under any other head coach. I just don't believe it. So with that being said, I think Brady was the right decision because of the coaching staff that was built around Joe Brady, and that could potentially make Joe Brady a really good head coach, right? It could really help his coaching career having these coaches around him, if that makes sense. So we'll see. I mean, this is all a we'll see. There's been plenty of positional coaches that became head coaches that failed. Let's be real. A ton. Some coaches are just better off at their being a position coach or a coordinator or a defense coordinator or offensive coordinator. Sometimes that's just their calling. They're just the head coaching is just not for them. They tried it and failed. Some have tried it multiple times and failed and then went back to being an OC or DC or whatever. We'll find out with some of these guys, right? Time will tell. But I just don't think the coaching staff would be the same under any other coach that we would have hired, in my opinion, which makes the difference. All right, guys. So it seems like you have no say in this list. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for you guys to tell me if there's any change that you would do on this list. Nobody has said a damn thing about the damn list that I put up here for you guys. So yeah. So I'm gonna give you guys a couple more minutes here to chime in on this list to see if there's any player that you would have in front, that you would slide around and move around on this list. For me, like I said earlier, I would have Nate Peterman as the worst since 2000. And I think Tyrod and Fitz, I can see the argument where one can go ahead of the other, right? So many bad quarterbacks. It hurts my soul looking at that. So it's Bob. Bob, on this list, though, is there any quarterback that you would swap out, right? That you would rearrange on this list in top 12? So clearly, we all know Allen's number one. But is there anyone here that you would go, yeah, I feel like Bledsoe was better than Fitz, or, maybe Fitz was better than Tyrod, whatever. Is there anything here that you would swap around, or you think this list is about right to you? I mean, for sure, for me, the for sure thing is Nate Peterman being the worst. And not to say these guys weren't god-awful. Jeff Toole and Matt Castle, right? Brom. EJ Manuel was really bad. You know what I mean? I hated Trent Edwards. Let's see here. I might knock Peterman down. You're right. Put him to 12, right? The worst since 2000. By the way, your instant that's BS question on PPA is what had me laughing on the floor. Yeah, and I came off wrong, to be honest with you, J-Ham, for saying that. What I should have said is, because those are my friends. Those are like, they're I consider them like family. I probably should have said that's a trick question, or I feel like that's more of a trick kind of question, because guys, every year there's a favored team in every sport, right? You see it all the time. The Buffalo Bills were favored, I believe, in 2022 as the favorite to win the Super Bowl that year. Like, I'm not putting my life on the line on any team winning a championship, because anything can happen in the course of a season. So for me, the question is a trick question, because I not even a trick question. I don't even know how to say it. It's not a BS question, but I personally, you just can't. Like, you can't say for sure. I don't care how good a team looks on paper. Anything can happen in the course of a season. Any sport. Put it this way. Mike Tyson, my favorite heavyweight of all time, went and fought James Buster Douglas. If at that time I were to say, man, for sure, I'll put my life on it that Mike Tyson's going to beat James Buster Douglas. Put my life on it. Well, I'd be dead. Because James Buster Douglas, obviously, as you all well know, beat Mike Tyson that night. Knocked him out. And it's shocking, right? Shocking. Maybe one of the biggest upsets in sports ever. But there's a lot that went into it. Why? Why did that happen? Right? Mike Tyson fucking around, wasn't really taking shit serious, right? His coaching, trainers were not prepared. They had like water bags for his eye. Like, they saw this as a first round knockout, right? They came totally unprepared. Mike Tyson didn't do no real training. Let's be real. He wasn't taking that fight serious. He was out fun having fucking girls in Japan or wherever that, or Tokyo. I think I was in Tokyo, right? So I don't know this, but if I were to bet my life on it, nah. So, and in sports, it's even more different when it comes to a team game, a team sport. So much has to go right for a team to win a championship. It's very rare that if, let's say your quarterback goes down, that a team could continue on, have that great of a roster to win without their starting quarterback. So, no, I can't. I would never put my life on that. So, I think it's an unfair question. That's what I should have put. It's an unfair question. Because right now, currently, the Bills are third best odds of winning a Super Bowl this year. If you go to Vegas has the Buffalo Bills third best odds. Third. I mean, I want to say that's too bad, is it? You putting your life on it? Nah. I'm good with that. Yeah, it just, but that's what I should have probably said. It's an unfair question. Is what I should have probably put. Okay, so that's the end of that. So now I'm going to add into the rest of the list here. Let me, or did I have something else that I wanted to talk to you guys? Oh, okay. I did actually. I did. Before we move on, and I apologize. I should have, man. I got all sidetracked. Okay. So this was a good little article by Democrat and Chronicle about did the Bills get better or worse, breaking down every position after the offseason move. So this is a pretty interesting one here. Let me see if I can go side by side with it. All right, so here we go. So let's see if I can. There we go. Okay. I don't know if you guys can read that along with me, but I'm going to try my best. Okay. Quarterback, right? We got a new backup here. Let's see what they say. Did the Bills get better or worse with a new backup? Verdict, they say the same. Didn't it get better? Didn't it get worse? It's the same. For me, look, I'm not a fan of Kyle Allen. I would say Trubisky's a better backup quarterback. So for me, I'm going to be honest, it got worse because I'm not a fan of Kyle Allen. I think Mitch Trubisky played a lot better last year as a backup, right? I remember the year prior, he was shaky. Remember that? Like, seemed gun shy when he came in. Like, preseason was shaky. But I think whatever happened in the offseason, he corrected that, and he was just a different quarterback last year. He came in, he was confident. And I felt confident in him as a backup quarterback at that point. So for me, I think, they took a step back as far as that goes. What do you guys think? Chime in the chat. I'll keep going down here. Running back group. They say it got worse because of Gilliam's departure. I would say it's the same because Gilliam wasn't a big part of the offense. He was great for the tush push, but outside of that, we didn't really use him much in the offense. Even when we tried to get him like a touchdown on the goal line and stuff, it seemed difficult at times, right? He wasn't this overpowering fullback, right? Where if we need a yard, he's a for sure thing, right? I just never got that from Reggie Gilliam, right? I thought he did great on the tush push, great on special teams, but if we're talking about running back room, yeah, he didn't do much for the running back room. So I'm going to say it's the same. So what do you guys think on that? Chime in below. All right, next up. Wide receiver. All right, DJ Moore trade boosts the offense. They say it's better. Verdict, better. And I agree. I totally agree. So we'll read what they say. But the room still carries questions behind Moore and Khalil Shakir. The Bills released Curtis Samuel, who didn't live up to his contract. That was a bad signing. And still has Joshua Palmer, who right now is a bad signing, who thus far hasn't lived up to his contract. Keon Coleman enters his third year as the wild card. That is true. Buffalo added veteran Trent Sherford, who will do nothing on the offense, by the way. He's a special team player, so forget about that statement. General Manager Brandon Beane didn't rule out taking a wide receiver with a number 26 overall pick. Moore raises the ceiling. The depth determines how high it goes. So they didn't mention. Oh no, he didn't mention Khalil Shakir. So for me, it did get better, 1,000%, 1,000%. Because now you got your true number one on this team in DJ Moore. Now you have your guy, your go-to guy, right? When Josh Allen needs a play to happen, he has a guy he can count on in DJ Moore. We didn't have that over the last 2 years. We really didn't. And I like Khalil Shakir, but he wasn't that go-to guy, right? And not only that, DJ Moore being a number one now opens it up for everybody else on this offense, right? Will make everyone else's job a lot easier. So that's why this receiver room got better, in my opinion. Will Brandon Beane draft a receiver in this draft? I believe he will. But we will see. We will see. But I believe he will. But I am with them, and I do believe the verdict is better. Tight end room. Knox contract keeps units stable. It says verdict slightly better. Young players developing. So I'm with that as well. So you got Dalton Kincaid here, Dawson Knox, and Hawes, right? Hawes, man, rookie year, the dude was legit, right? Physical, great blocking tight end. Could catch out the backfield here and there, right? As a tight end. I like what I saw from Hawes, no doubt about it. Question is, can Kincaid stay healthy? If he can stay healthy, watch out, right? This tight end room is really good because Dawson Knox is well-rounded. The guy can, you've known that from the past. He can be relied on as a receiver, right? Receiving tight end, and he can block, right? He's a well-rounded receiver or receiving tight end. So, I'm good with the tight end room. I really am. I think it's a well-rounded tight end room. The question is, can Kincaid stay healthy, right? And that's a big if because he hasn't, right? All right, here we go. Offensive line, left guard, a question. As you guys know, we lost David Edwards, right? But that's the only player we lost on that offensive line. So what they say, it slightly got worse. I guess that's fair. That's fair because we don't know yet who is going to fill Edwards' spot, right? So that is a fair statement to say. I'm with that. But I still like this offensive line. I still think Deion Dawkins still has time left, and he's at the tail end of his prime, but he still has some juice left, right? You got Connor McGovern, who's still in his prime. You got Cyrus Torrance, who is really yet to hit his prime, but is on his way. And you got Spencer Brown, who's still in his prime. You got a really good offensive line. You just got to fill that left guard spot, and we'll be good to go, right? So we'll see what they do in the draft, and we'll see how the competition goes, because I'm sure they're going to have a competition, come training camp. So, yeah, slightly worse. That's fair for now. Defensive line edge rushers. Bradley Chubb adds upside to pass rusher. And yes, he does. It says verdict different. Leaning towards better, still incomplete. And that's fair. That is absolutely fair. I'm a believer in Bradley Chubb. I think Bradley Chubb is still in his prime. When healthy, he's productive. He's shown that. Look at his career. But the question, again, is kind of like with Kincaid. Can he stay healthy? If Bradley Chubb can stay healthy, he's going to bring production to this team. But with that being said, we still need to get an edge in the draft at some point. If it's not this year, it's next year. But you have to find that guy, because Bradley Chubb is another player that's kind of at the tail end of his prime. Okay? So, yeah, I'm with that as well. I agree with that. Linebacker, some holes remain. And this is kind of a position where I'm a little worried about the Bills' need. They haven't really addressed it yet. I don't know what yet they're going to do with Bernard, who's another guy that just has had injuries throughout his career. Obviously, Matt Milano's a free agent. I don't think he's going to be back, and I don't know if I would want him back. So for me, I would say worse, and the verdict here is worse for now. And I understand why they put for now, because we'll see what happens in the draft, and maybe if they don't get one in the draft, could they go out and get a linebacker that's a free agent that maybe has some juice still in the tank, right? That can provide something for at least a year until the Bills address it in the next draft, in the 2027 draft. But we'll see. But I'm with that. I'm with that. Secondary, new look. Defense under Jim Leonard. Secondary, let's see. Which I think got better. But let's see what they say. For them, the verdict is different. Identity shift. So this says this unit has undergone the most change. Buffalo is getting younger and more aggressive. Under new DC Jim Leonard, the Bills have reshaped the secondary with additions by C.J. Gardner-Johnson, Geno Stone, D. Alford. Gardner-Johnson is one of the league's most productive and polarizing defensive backs. They traded longtime nickel Teron Johnson, released cornerback Dane Jackson, and Taylor Rapp. And versatile defensive back Cam Lewis signed with the Chicago Bears. The only free agents the Bills re-signed were safety Damar Hamlin and special teams Sam Franklin, which, by the way, Sam Franklin Jr. is strictly for special teams, and Damar Hamlin will probably be on the, on the practice squad. So I honestly think it's gotten better. C.J. Gardner-Johnson has been a force wherever he's gone. He brings a lot to this defense, and we'll see once again in the draft if they draft a corner. We will see, but I'm still a big time believer in Christian Benford. I think he's a top 10 corner. Maxwell Harrison, look, the verdict's still out for him. Like, I don't know what he's going to become, and it's tough to judge him right now after 1 year. I don't like the fact that he suffered injuries early on in his career. It's set him back. But we'll see. We'll see. He has the potential of being a good corner in the NFL. So we'll find out. But I think they do need to add one in the draft at some point. And if you don't, once again, you probably need to really address that in the 2027 draft. Defensive line needs most help. Yeah, I think I'm with you on that too. Special teams, Tyler Bass returns. I hope they bring in a kicker to have some kind of competition with Tyler Bass, because, he lost his confidence, kind of got it back a little bit at the end of the 2024 season, and then got hurt in 2025. Obviously missed the whole season. I just don't know. Matt Prater, I just felt more comfortable with him as our kicker last year. I don't think he's back. I think he winds up retiring from the NFL. But they do need to bring in a kicker to at least give him some competition, because Tyler Bass is not the same. If he's missing field goals in training camp and in preseason, we got a problem. So you better bring in some kind of competition for Tyler Bass. That's where I'm at with that. Verdict unknown, and I'm okay with that. And that's the end of that article. And somebody mentioned the defensive line, and I'm with you on that too. Like, they got to figure that out too, man. We still have yet to get a true one tech. I'm hoping that's a position they get in the draft. There's some decent ones out there. I really like McDonald. Though I know a lot of people are not sold on him as being a first round for this team, because he's a two down defensive back or defensive tackle, that is. But I'm sold on him. He's a guy that we've been needing on this defense. A true nose tackle, run stuffer, stuffer, whatever you want to call him. But that's exactly what the Buffalo Bills have missed for many years. And there's your answer right there. He's right there. He's right there and he may be at that 26th spot for you to draft. I'm just saying. But a lot of Bills Mafia are like just not sold on having a defensive nose tackle because they feel like, why waste the 26th pick on a guy that's not going to see the field very much or only be two down. But for me, our stopping the run has been a fucking nightmare for this team. And if we get a guy in there that could actually help out and stop and prevent these running backs from gashing us, yeah, sign me up for it. Absolutely. Because it will make a difference. But, some people see it differently, and I get that. All right, let's see here. Let's get to the rest of what I was talking about, and then we'll get out of here. So, as far as the top position groups since 2000 in order, right? Ranking them. So, let's see here. All right. Okay. Here we go. Let me see if I can. Is there a way I can? Man, it's already zoomed in. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. If you can't, I'll read it to you. Maybe there's a better way I can. Hold on. Let me see if there's a better way for you guys to see that. Boy, it's all pretty bad, huh? It's all pretty bad. All right, I guess we're just gonna have to stick with this one. Okay, here we go. So the quarterbacks, what they have in order, they got, and this is Chat GPT. This is AI for those that don't know. So they got Allen, Tyrod Taylor, Fitzpatrick, Bledsoe. So they almost have the same as Built in Buffalo. By the way, that was Built in Buffalo's list earlier. They have Lossman ahead of Orton and Edwards. And I was a Lossman fan. I like Lossman. I know a lot of you guys think he was terrible, but he had potential. And he wasn't that bad. But anyways, they got Lossman, Orton at 6, Edwards at 7, Manuel at 8, Peterman at 9, and Castle at 10. I would still have Peterman last. Running backs. All right, here we go. Now, do they not have wow, they didn't put James Cook here. So for whatever reason, James Cook is not on this list. So we're going to add him to this list. Okay, because he belongs on this list, right? Look at these turds. All right, running backs. They got Shady 1, Fred Jackson 2, Marshawn 3rd, Devin Singletary 4th, Willis McGahee 5th, Spiller 6th, Henry 7, Moss 8, Carlos Williams 9, and Murray 10. That list to me is way wrong. Way wrong. So as we sit today, to be fair, I don't think James Cook's the one since 2000. I don't. I would put, in my opinion, I would put Shady 1. Man, this is tough. I don't know. Oh, boy, this was tough, guys. Because I'm a big fan of Travis Henry, man. God, this is tough, man. I would put Shady 1. I would put Travis Henry 2nd. I put James Cook 3rd. I put Marshawn Lynch 4th. I'd put McGahee ahead of Singletary 5th. Then I put Singletary. I'd put Carlos over Zach Moss. And then I'd have Moss and then Murray at 10. Yeah, did I say CJ? I missed CJ Spiller. So I'd have Spiller over Moss as well. So I'd have Murray in 10, Moss at 9, Williams at 8, then Spiller. No, then Singletary. Well, no, Spiller, Singletary, and then the rest. So that's where I have. But I don't. I'd have to take somebody off the list, actually. Jesus. To add in James Cook. So I would take Murray. I would take Murray off the list then, if this is the top 10. Cook is 1 or 2. Okay. See, I knew listen, I know. And maybe I'm just because I really have the respect for Travis Henry, and maybe I'm just I don't know, being a fan here, fanboy. But I get it. I'm with you. I understand why people would put Cook 2. I just can't do that. For me, I think Travis Henry was a beast while he was here. Go look at his numbers. So I'd have Shady, Travis, and then James Cook. And then Marshawn Lynch would be right after. Travis was awesome. I get you. There you go. So yeah, he just was. He was dude. The dude was a beast. I mean, look at the 2002 season. It was crazy. I mean, it was crazy. It was like 1,400, almost 1,500 yard season. A lot of touchdowns. He was consistent. He was a bruiser. He was well-rounded running back, well-rounded. But, you know, look, if James Cook has another year like he did the last two, then I can't have Travis ahead of him at that point. Then James Cook, for me, will probably jump to that one spot over Shady, right? Because he's done more at that point. And if he has another year like he did the last two, then yeah, you cannot not have him as the best running back in the 2000 since 2000. How that offense didn't make the playoffs will be dude, the 2000 it was I can't believe it. What can you imagine if we had those players, a Molds, a Price, a Henry, which we kind of do now. We got the James Cook, but that receiving, like, and then you're not even talking about like Josh Reed. You know what I mean? Like, that was a good offense, man. But anyways, so I would mix it up there a little bit. So I think they got this. ChatGPT definitely has the running backs wrong. Wide receivers. All right, let's see. I'm already seeing a problem, but we'll talk about it. Stephon Diggs, they got 1. Eric Moulds 2. Lee Evans 3. Cole Beasley 4. John Brown 5. Gabe Davis 6. Peerless Price 7. Robert Woods 8. Sammy Watkins 9. And Emmanuel Sanders 10. Right away, I would swap Moulds with Diggs. Abso-fucking-lutely. I'm sorry. Look, Diggs was the man. Diggs was damn good. But Eric Moulds was better. Way better, in my opinion. More well-rounded. Had the speed, had the size, physical. The dude played with so many bad quarterbacks and produced every season. Produced, right? I just cannot have Stephon Diggs ahead of Eric Moulds. I'm sorry. I can't do it. Eric Moulds 1,000% is better than Stephon Diggs. Matter of fact, Eric Moulds is our best receiver in Buffalo Bills history. Now, I know that's a hot take. I know a lot of you guys are going to say Andre Reed, and I get it. But you're talking about well-rounded, what he had to work with, how many different quarterbacks and how many different coordinators, how many different head coaches that he went through, and what he produced year in, year out. Eric Moulds, by far, for me, is the best best receiver in Buffalo Bills history, and he's definitely the best receiver since 2000. Peerless over Lee, and where the hell is Stevie Johnson? That's a bro. I was thinking there's a player that's not on this list. Absolutely. Where's Reed? No, this is since 2000. These are top 10 players since 2000 by position group. So that's why Reed's not there. You're all right though. Stevie Johnson should be on here. So we got to kick somebody off this list. I would kick Emmanuel Sanders off this list because he was only here 1 year. I'm on the fence about that because Sammy Watkins didn't do a lot here. He really didn't because of the injuries. But if there's Sanders only provided 1 year. So I'd kick Sanders off and I would I'd have Moulds 1, Diggs 2. I have 3. I'd have Stevie Johnson. 4. Honestly, I'd have Cole Beasley there. That's fine. I'd have Peerless Price ahead of John Brown. I'd have Gabe Davis ahead of Robert Woods. And then Sammy Watkins would finish out the list at 10. Does that sound about right to you guys? I mean, T.O. was only here 1 year. Can't add him. He was okay for the 1 year, but no. I would take Emmanuel Sanders off this list and put Stevie Johnson as on this list, and obviously Stevie Johnson would go 3rd behind Stephon Diggs. because, you know, Stevie put up some really good numbers here in his time. And he also was in the drought years with a lot of different quarterbacks. So you have to give him his props as well. So, yeah, outside of that, I think I'm okay with the list. Just mixing around a little bit. Tight ends. Here we go. Dawson Knox, number 1. Charles Clay, 2. Scott Chandler, 3. Dalton Kincaid, 4. Lee Smith, 5. Reamersma, 6. Pete Metzelaar, 7. 8. Derek Shawn. Nick O'Leary. And Quentin Morris. Quentin Morris, wasn't he the one that dated Pugo's daughter, I think? Could be wrong on that, but I think he did. Okay, so they're saying Knox is your best tight end since 2000. Ooh, man, it's tough to argue that he's not, guys. I got to be honest with you. I'd probably say that's about right. I'd leave Knox at 1. Charles Clay wasn't terrible for as much as Bills Mafia acts like he was so bad here. He was not that bad. But I'd put Kincaid ahead of Clay. I'd put Knox, Kincaid, Clay, Chandler. I'd put Reamersma over Lee Smith. Was Pete Metzelaar's in the 2000s, though? Was he? I don't recall that. Pete, number 1. Was he in the 2000s, though? When did Pete... I don't think so. Let me look that up. I should know this. Pete Metzelaar's. Let's see here. I don't think so, guys. I don't think he was in the 2000s. Was he? Let me see here. Man, I should know this. I feel terrible. I feel like a bad fan right now. No, he wasn't on our fucking team in 2000. I should have known better. So you got to get Pete off the list here. No offense to Pete, but he wasn't on this team in 2000. So I have to, ChatGPT's, and look, it kind of proves AI isn't always right. That's what I thought. I don't know why. I'm having brain fart here. Pete Metzelaar's has to go off the list because this is 2000 to current, right? So Pete's off the list there. So everything else is fine. But I would definitely switch Clay to Kincaid. I'd have Kincaid as our second. I'd have Clay as our third, and then Chandler as our fourth. I might even have I'd have Reamersma over Lee Smith as well. All right, linebackers. Ooh, boy. They got Tremaine Edmonds, 1. Matt Milano, 2. London Fletcher, 3. I'm already seeing problems here. 4. Takeo Spikes. Paul Posluncey, Angela Correll, Nigel Bradham, Preston Brown, Terrell Dotson, AJ Klein. Ugh. So, for me, guys, I'm seeing a major problem here. Tremaine is not our best linebacker since 2000. I'd have London Fletcher as our best. That dude is borderline Hall of Fame player. The problem with Takeo is he didn't give us a lot of years of being the Takeo Spikes, in his prime, right? And the dude was great. He just didn't give us a lot of time. So it's tough to put him, way up on the list. But I'd have London Fletcher 1. I'd have Milano over Edmonds because he was here longer. So I'd have Fletcher, Edmonds, Milano, Spikes, and then the rest is fine. I mean, that's where I see that. Let's see here. Milano 2, Spikes 3. Yeah, I just don't like it. I Fletcher for sure is 1. I mean, I don't know if you guys agree or disagree, but he was that good. And then I'd have I guess I'd have Milano 2, like I said earlier. Edmonds 3, Spikes 4, I guess. I guess. Man, that's tough. That is tough. Because I'm also looking at time, the length of the time you were here in Buffalo and what you did. Bernard is better than AJ Klein. You're right, and Bernard's not even on this list, is he not? Let me see here. He's not. I'm with you. 100%. I should have known better. Thank you for that, KB. So let's knock off Klein for sure, and let's put Bernard on this list. And I wouldn't even have Bernard towards the end. I'd have Bernard like in that 6, 7 range. But good way to point that out. Edge rushers. All right, here we go. Y'all ready for the edge? Mario Williams, they have it 1. Jerry Hughes 2. Gregory Rousseau 3. Aaron Schobel 4. Shaq Lawson 5. Trent Murphy 6. Leonard Floyd 7. Manny Lawson 8. Chris Kelsey 9. And 10 Epinesa. Okay. Boy, this is tough. Mario Williams, yes. I'd have a number 1. Jerry Hughes, I'd have number 2. No problem. Number 3, this is where it gets interesting, I guess. Groot is fine for me, actually. Aaron Schobel is fine at 4. I'd have Leonard Floyd over Trent Murphy. I drop Shaq Lawson a little. I'd have Shaq Lawson ahead of Trent Murphy. That's fine. But I would put Leonard Floyd ahead of both Trent and Shaq. And the rest of the list is fine. Am I missing somebody there? Guys? Schobel is 3, right? I'd have Schobel I'd have Mario, Jerry. I'd have Groot over Schobel. And then I'd have Schobel. But I understand why people would maybe want Schobel over Groot. I would understand the argument. How about that? Yeah, but Bruce, this is since 2000 though. So we're doing the best position by group position by 2000 to current. You get what I'm saying? So this is from the 2000 to now, right? So this is why some of those players aren't there, but Bruce Smith is the greatest edge of all time, period. Von Miller, interesting. Should Von be on this list? And I'm glad. Yes, I would put Von. I put Von ahead of Epinesa, I guess. Oh, man, I don't know. That's tough because Epinesa. I don't know. That's tough. That's a good one. Because Von didn't do much after his injury. Not that Epinesa's been great. That is tough. I don't know. I maybe you could swap them out. I'm not sure. That's tough, but that's a good one. For me, I'd put Von over AJ. I would. Joey Bosa, nah. Yeah. Nope. All right, let's go to the next one. Next one, defensive line. Okay, here we go. Remember, this is since 2000, guys. Kyle Williams, Marcel Darius, Ed Oliver, Pat Williams. Was Pat Williams and Sam Adams? They were because they were in the drought years. Jordan Phillips, Starler Tule, Tim Settle, Spencer Johnson, and Justin Zimmer. I forgot about Justin Zimmer. You totally forgot about him. Okay. This is interesting. Kyle Williams for sure as 1. There's no doubt. I think Marcel Darius at 2 is fine. I would drop Ed Oliver some. I would put Pat Williams ahead of Ed Oliver. And then I would have Ed Oliver. Then I put Sam Adams. Jordan Phillips is fine for me over Starr because Starr didn't give us but 1 year of, of anything. Tim Settle didn't really do much here. He did something when he left. And then I'm fine with the rest. What do you guys think on that list? Anybody that I'm missing or anybody that should be moved around? Both rookies are better than Justin Zimmer. Totally forgot about Zimmer. All right, let me know in the chat and I'll move on to the next. Cornerbacks. All right, here we go. Trey White, Stephon Gilmore, Nate Clements, Antoine Winfield, Leotis McKelvin, Terrence McGee, one of my favorite. Terrence McGee is one of my favorite Bills players too. Ronald Darby, Teron Johnson, Drayton Florence, and Kyer Elam. Kyer Elam should not even be on this list. Number one, I don't see Christian Benford on this list, so let's knock Kyer Elam off the list. Let's add Christian Benford to the list, okay? If I'm missing anybody, let me know. But once again, ChatGPT, making mistakes here. Right? So we're going to put Christian Benford on this list, okay? So, number one, Trey White. Stephon Gilmore was really good. But I think he was better when he left. So I'm going to put Trey White at 1. I think that's fair. Stephon Gilmore 2. I think that's fair. Nate Clements 3. I think that's fair. Antoine Winfield was really good here. That's fine. 4. This is where I'll put Christian Benford ahead of Leotis McKelvin. I like Leotis McKelvin, but I'm going to put Benford at 5. No, I take that back. I'm going to put McGee at 5. Oh, geez. I don't know now. Because McGee he was really good at corner, and he offered the punt return, right? And kick return ability. He was really good at that. That is a really... Let me see if am I missing anybody else? Geez, that's tough, guys. Boy, so Trey, Stephon, Nate, Antoine, and our 5th spot is where it gets interesting. We do got a super chat real quick. Let's go ahead and hit that super chat.
Thank you very much. Thank
Thank you so much, Jacob Spears. He has a really cool channel over there. Go check it out. If you're a Christian and you want to do Bible studies, all that stuff, they have all that. Jacob does all that stuff over on his channel, and he's a friend of the channel. So go over there, help him out, subscribe, and But anyways, Jesus loves you, my friend. Yes, he does, and I appreciate you coming through with that super chat. I appreciate you watching. Let's see here. Antoine could hit. He did. He could. Love watching Clements. Yeah, bro. I picked my grandma over Elam. Nice. So, what do you guys think about Benford? So, do you have Benford in the top 5? I would say it's a toss-up because I really like McGee, but to be fair, I think Benford is a better corner than McGee, right? Let me put my music back on. So, yeah, I guess I would put Benford at 5, McGee at 6. Teron Johnson, honestly, I'd put him ahead of Darby. So that's my list. I'm feeling comfortable at that. So I would say Benford at 5 right now. Benford top 5. Okay, so we're in agreement, Sarah. Benford could be at 5. That sounds about right. All right, safeties. All right, let's see. Micah Hyde at 1, Poyer at 2, Lawyer Malloy at 3, Dante Whitner at 4, George Wilson, who I actually met at a bachelor party here in Detroit, coming at 5, Jerry Spurt at 6, Taylor Rapp at 7, Searcy at 8, DeMar Hamlin 9, Brian Scott at 10. Okay. I'm good with Hyde. I'm good with Poyer. I'm good with Malloy. I'm good with Whitner. I'm good with Wilson. I'm good with Bird. I'd have Rapp. Oh, geez. I don't know. Am I missing somebody? Oh, Cole Bishop. So let's take off somebody from this list. Let's take off. Boy, I don't know. I guess Scott. I guess we take off Scott because DeMar, I mean, it's not good. Jeez. But you got to put Bishop here. He's shown at least last year, he's better than some of these players. So I'd have Bishop. I've had a Rapp for sure. But I like the list. I think that's a fair list. What do you guys think? Take off Hamlin, right? Okay. It was a toss-up, but I understand why. So, but outside of that, I think that's about right. I think that list is good. Let's put the 2 free agent guys in there already. Yeah, right. They've already done more. But I'm with you. Kickers. Hashka, Ryan Lindell, Dan Carpenter, Tyler Bass, Mike Hollis, Billy Cundiff, Nick Folk, Carpenter. I mean, I don't know what they messed up there. I don't know what they're talking about there. Jake Elliott, Steve Hoshka, duplicate removed. Okay, so they're making mistakes. So, how many years did he play for us for? Hold on. How many years did he play for us? Because he had a little run. But he just. Let me pull him. Let me see this stats with us here at the end, because I don't. So he was here 3 seasons. And I'm talking about Hoshka. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know. Let's see here. That's a tough one. What do you guys think? Anyone but Norwood. Yeah, I know it's a 2000s up. Oh, God, this is tough. I'd have Lindell over Hoshka. I'd have Carpenter over Hoshka. And then I'd have Hoshka. And then I'd have Bass. And then whatever. But that's where I'm going with that. But I'm dropping Hoshka there. I'm putting Lindell at 1, putting Carpenter at 2, Hoshka at 3, Bass at 4. You guys with me on that? Prater. Yeah, Prater probably deserves to be on this list. We can knock somebody off this list, but that's where I'm going with that. I'm switching them around a little bit, but they're kind of close. Punters, I mean, who really cares? But Brian Moorman, Bojo, Colton Smith, Matt Hack, Sam Martin, Sean Powell, Ryan Allen, our staff, Chris Moore. I mean, I think we all can agree, and who cares about the punters? But Brian Moorman, absolutely number 1. Bojo, he wasn't terrible. I mean, he wasn't awful. Geez, that's a tough one, I guess. Or Schmidt could go ahead of him. I mean, that's a toss-up. And that's it. That is it for the 2000s list that I had there for you guys tonight. Let me see if I can go back in that mode. There you go. Just because he got destroyed by Sean Taylor in the Pro Bowl. Oh, Brian Moorman. Right? He absolutely got wrecked, man. Taylor was not playing around at the Pro Bowl. He did get up, but that pretty much sealed the deal for him. Poor Brian Moorman. But yeah, he was our best punter since 2000. And I think that's all I got for you tonight, man. So been on here a little over 2 hours, man. It was a fun show, man. Got to talk a little bit about Brandon Beane, a little bit about McDermott, a little bit about this coaching staff. little bit of history going back to the 2000s and comparing, or doing a top 10 ranking system. That was fun tonight. Appreciate you guys. I will be back Sunday for the Down and Drought series. We are on, what are we on now? 2004. So we're going over the 2004 season of the Buffalo Bills. This is where we get a new coach. A new coach is coming to town. So you guys want to join me there at 1:00? It's a fun show. It's fun to take a trip down memory lane and revisit how awful things were in the drought years. And then obviously Monday night uncensored when me and Mikey, we will be on at 10 p.m. So appreciate you guys for rocking with me tonight. And I'm glad I got to all chat, man. So Bills Mafia, I love you. And as always, go Bills. I'm out of here. Peace. What are you saying real quick? I don't remember anyone between Kelly and Allen. What are you about? I don't remember between Kelly and Allen. Oh no. Oh, you talking about quarterbacks? It was all a blur. It was all a big blur. Sandra, Tommy for the Friday night. Never time. Make sure Mikey is here so you won't get behind the chat. This time I wasn't, Sandra. I fell a little behind, but I caught up. Anyways, I'm out of here. Bills Mafia, I love you. As always, go Bills. Peace.
Just